count for the quorums. 7 voting members. Right. So are we live?
You're live.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Well, good timing. We just had a 7th voting member show up, so we can convene the meeting of the Home Rule Charter Commission for September 10th at 7:01. Okay. So, Roy Turpin, would you lead us in a invocation, please?
Please guide us. Heavenly Father, please guide us in the work we're to do tonight. Help us to be true and worthy public servants, to make this a wonderful and better city, to make it wonderful for all of our citizens. Guide our decisions and our contributions to the conversation. Make us worthy of the task that we've embraced. Amen.
What? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. So, we have Roy and Charlie and Carol and Daryl and Gwen and Candy and Michael as voting members. At 7, we have a quorum. So thank you all. Next thing on the agenda is public comment, and I believe we have a request to speak from Libby.
Yes, thank you. Hi there. I think y'all can hear me okay. I was here last time and you're going to see a lot of details. This is very interesting to me. So by way of introduction, my name is Libby Applerback and I've lived in Welland Park since 1991. I'm here because I'm curious about who you are and how you go about creating a home rule charter. I mean, who you are really. I zipped through the Liberty Hill and Saxe charters as someone suggested. Much thought and detailed work and much lawyering has clearly gone into those documents. So you have serious work ahead of you. I wonder first whether I missed a discussion that I may have about the pros and cons of home rule. Before this goes to voters, I would expect you to address that, if for no other reason than to explain how residents will benefit if they vote yes. This is not a criticism, just a basic question. Why home rule? And the answer should not be just because we can. A second point, at your last meeting, Mr. Strickland put himself on record advocating for partisan city council elections. I couldn't disagree more. I agree with the lady on this commission, I think it was you, who described city government as possibly a stepping stone for people to dip into civic engagement. Let's encourage people to run for local office without having to have to choose labels that invite mindless stereotyping and worse. And I noted that the Liberty Hill model, which you all like, does require nonpartisan elections. Finally, I noticed that in Liberty Hill, again, interesting Liberty Hill, the Charter Commission was appointed in June 2023 and submitted its work to the council in September 2024. That's 15 months later. Are we rushing things here? I hear this commission is trying to have a document by the end of the year. That'd be 4 or 5 months. Even if you cut and paste from other documents, I wonder if the timing is realistic. And I'm just asking. So thank you for listening. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, actually, you asked a couple of questions that I think we can give answers to. You asked about what's available for home rule versus general law.
Yeah, why would you choose one or the other?
In June 10th, the previous city attorney gave a presentation on exactly that subject. And that presentation is online in the same page with the home rule charter information.
And that was given to the council meeting.
It was given during a council
during
meeting.
council meeting. So
Yes,
when you get closer, I presume you don't have public count or something.
we haven't discussed that as part of it yet, but
Yeah, I would revisit it at that point when people are paying attention.
For you and that, yes, ma'am.
Yes, when people are paying
We
attention.
will get to that, yes, ma'am.
well,
I think.
again, statement of fact. The presentation that Mr. Cheshire gave included exactly one disadvantage to home rule. And that was it might cost money to actually pass the home rule charter. That was the sum total of the negative things to say,
Okay, well, that's interesting.
which is why I'm kind of on record of being defensive about how much this whole exercise is gonna cost.
Okay.
Okay. Did you have another question that might get a factual answer?
Your timeline, I don't know if you thought about that. I was just struck by reading the, did y'all read or skim the Liberty Hill? Everybody talking about Liberty Hill, so I was saying, so it has an introductory letter from the city secretary, and I noticed the dates. And I said, whoa, those dates are really far apart, and maybe something different happened, but it's a lot to cram in to a short period of time, so I'm just asking the question.
I agree with your point. I think we're on record as saying that we are going to do our best to take advantage of the hard work a whole lot of other people already did. And we'll see where that gets us. You know, I have a goal of having a finished product by the 1st of December.
Right, I know, I've heard you say that.
And plans are made so that you know what it is you're changing as you go along. Isn't that right, Mike?
Amen.
Okay. I don't think we have any other public comment. So moving on, approval of the minutes from August 27th. You all got a copy of that. Does anybody have a motion on that?
Motion to approve. Second.
I think I heard Gwen first.
Take it. I believe you said time. Not every social.
Should refer to the vice chair.
Sandra, who's the referee here? Okay, very good. Okay, next item on the agenda is to discuss adopting a mission statement. And I didn't hand out, oh, could you go 3 slides forward, please?
Yes, sir.
Are those slides online? Or just the video?
Video.
Okay.
Oh, my apologies. Here we go.
Just a question. Is one of them the original one I sent you, and then the other one is the one that you and I edited together?
No,
Mission statement, is that what you're looking for, sir?
Yes, thank
that's
you,
what I'm looking
Todd.
for.
Yeah.
Thank you. So we had an original proposal that came from Charlie Hodges. And then I got a second opinion on that. And what I sent out showed both of them in straight text, like it's on the screen. And I included a red line version that showed what was deleted and what was added from the one to the other. Ultimate intent, they both say very, very similar things. So I would like to have somebody's opinion on which one they prefer. Carol.
I prefer the edited version. It's a little shorter, a little less wordy. I think it's a little more straightforward. I think they're both right on point, but I think that one is more accessible.
The only problem I have with the second one is the second sentence. The charter will aim to be flexible enough to adapt to future requirements. That is vague and not specific. requirements of what?
Of the setting.
Okay, then that, you need to say that.
Well, actually, then if we're gonna do that, we need to make sure we put City of Boulevard.
Yeah.
We need to address it partly.
Yes. So, and that's what we have in the draft, a home rule charter. For the needs of the citizens of the city of Willow Park, incorporating flexibility to adapt whatever future growth presents. And to accomplish this goal using an open and transparent process, proactively working with the Willow Park community. Yes, wordy, but it's very specific. I can see benefits to both. That's fine. I'm just being a picky old newsman.
I personally.
I can see this will be fun. Okay, I'm gonna throw out a word salad for you. I also have a little problem with that second sentence in the second version. And for the people who can't see what we're looking at, it says the charter will aim to be flexible enough to adapt to future requirements. And for the proposal that we want that to say future requirements of the city of Willow Park. The charter will aim, that's. The charter will incorporate flexibility to adapt to future requirements of the city of Willow Park.
First one already says it.
And it says it slightly differently. We are aiming to get a charter that meets the needs of this city for as long as significant change doesn't occur in the city.
And as we found out last night from the city attorney during the city council meeting, the only charter lawsuit that he knows of comes from the Dallas charter revision election from 2 years ago. And there's a lawsuit against the Dallas city charter based off of a revision election.
Right.
So we need to be solid in what we're doing to where it is, and by using our attorneys and keeping focused on not tying hands too much, I think we'll be able to do that.
Well, having said what I did, what I would like is for us to have a clear statement of why we think we're sitting here talking about this stuff. And I think either of those serves that purpose. So I'll entertain a motion from somebody to make a decision and see where we end up.
Just a question that I think we ought to ask in choosing and or editing is which statement, I mean, I hope that as part of this process, we do have town halls, we do solicit a lot of our citizens to become knowledgeable about what we're doing. And I think to that end, which of these two statements do you think the people will read and understand? And I tend to think the simpler something is, the more likely people are to read the whole thing.
I agree with Carol, but we have to make sure that if it's simpler, we need to cover all of our bases.
And I don't have a problem with a tweak to that sentence to make it clear. But I do think active voice, not passive, short declarative sentences. You just tend to get more people reading and comprehending and retaining, I think.
Okay, let's make an edit to the first one if we can. Let's work on this. The mission of the Willow Park Home Rule Charter Commission is to create and draft a home rule charter that will serve the present and future needs of the citizens of the city of Willow Park, period. We will incorporate flexibility. It will include flexibility to adapt to future growth, to whatever future growth presents, and to accomplish this goal using an open and transparent process, proactively working with the Willow Park community. So we're taking the first sentences, we're taking that statement, because it is a statement. That's why it's all one sentence. We're taking that, breaking it down to two sentences. And we're stressing important. Gene and I exchanged emails on it. I think it's important in the mission statement that we stress that we are going to get input from the community to put this thing together. That we have to have community input. Or else we're just twiddling our thumbs.
Right.
So I would propose that we take that first statement using the edited suggestions I made with a period at the end of the phrase, the citizens of the city of Willow Park, period. The charter will provide flexibility to adapt to the future growth, to whatever future growth presents and to accomplish presents, period. We will accomplish this goal using an open and transparent process, proactively working with the Willow Park community.
I don't think that we need to say that it's going to be flexible enough to adapt to future growth, because there are other things it may need to deal with. It may need to deal with legislative changes.
Right.
It may need to deal with,
Oh, then we don't tie it down to growth.
That's
I
why
agree.
I
think
wrote the second one. So that's why I put requirements in there, because you can't, I
Well,
don't.
requirements is awfully vague, and I understand what you're doing, but
Right,
I'm just saying.
because it addresses not just growth, it addresses legislative changes, so it's gotta
whatever
be, it's
can happen.
gotta be encompassed.
Well, then let's change that on that top one. Let's change that and take growth out.
For future,
To whatever
future.
future need or yeah, future needs.
Can we take the word whatever out and just say future needs?
Yeah.
I don't really put that.
To adapt to future needs and accomplish this goal by an open and transparent process, proactively working with the Willow Park community. We're the two writers. Let's see what we got here. You got any other ideas?
Speaking of writing, then we need to address, we need to make sure of all charters that you're gonna look at, everything that you address as far as charters go. Either we address it as Willow Park, Texas, or the city of Willow Park,
Correct.
Texas. I mean, we have to make sure that everybody and everyone out there knows this is for Willow Park, Texas. As you read your charter sheet, you'll see everything addresses.
Mhm.
You gotta make sure that it's identified.
Okay. Haven't heard a motion yet.
I believe we have some wordsmithing going on over there.
Would you like to make a motion or table this action and maybe you can do a continuance on it?
You have a motion to make?
Well, as far as if we make a motion to accept
The edited first or?
and the second.
Yeah.
That in a second, so the second one answer.
Well, I mean, that's what.
Well, we got author of version 2 sitting down there, and let's see what he comes up with. He's got a couple of minutes. I don't want to put pressure on the man, but you know.
Okay, it's been a couple minutes.
Okay, now you're putting pressure on the man.
I mean, they both say, almost the same thing, so, I mean, I'm not
married to either one. I just didn't like that, and no offense, I just like the second one, future requirements is a little vague, that's all.
As Carol said, I mean, a lot of people love seeing it shorter better. Right to the point, shorter better.
Mhm.
Agree. It's just,
I'm on for simple things, but also it's the mission statement and it's the first thing that someone's gonna possibly see about our charter. So I just wanna make sure that it's simple, but also directly to the point.
Well, I will propose that this mission statement will be text on the page that has all our other information.
Right.
So, yes, it'll be the first thing that people see.
Yes.
I make a motion to accept the second one with revisions.
I don't think you can do that without showing what the revisions are.
Correct.
You cannot.
Willow Park, Texas, City of Willow Park, that has to be added in.
Well, that's fine, but requirements, if we can just work on that second sentence.
Yeah, what folks said is the charter will incorporate flexibility to adapt to future needs. If you want to get rid of requirements, you could say that. And then this will be accomplished through an open, or let me restate it. The second sentence, the charter will incorporate flexibility to adapt to future needs of the city of Willow Park.
Texas.
This will be accomplished through an open and transparent process,
And as,
actively involving. Willow
yeah,
Park.
as Carol says with active tense, we will accomplish this through, take the ED passive accomplished. We will accomplish
Oh,
this
yeah,
through an
yeah.
open and transparent process actively involving the residents of Willow Park.
Texas.
Yes.
I think we're getting close.
Will
It
accomplish-
sounds good.
I move that, I make a motion for that second charter for the second mission statement as just edited.
Second,
Outstanding.
Okay,
Got with
any
revisions.
further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Was that all seven? Thank you. Okay. And if you would forward to me, somebody, the proposed text.
There we go.
In the morning.
Working together.
Yeah.
Outstanding job, man,
And we can go back and listen to the audio.
to the ladies.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I got it.
Moving on, our next agenda item is discuss a policy on replacing any home rule charter commission member vacancy. We struggled to get a quorum today. I have had two members indicate that their workload will prevent them from actually being involved. And of course, Dixie will not be with us. So we're down to 11 total. The quorum is going to remain at 7. Okay. Because we have not removed positions from the commission. I'm, to be quite honest, candid, my recommendation for the starting size of this commission was 11. Just to be a manageable body to discuss elements. I don't like the way we got to 11. I'll just make that clear. But I would like to have your input as to, do you think we need to add people? I can tell you that David Lorenzo told me that he was going to be out of town. So I know a week ago he was not going to be here. Mary Diedrich has the flu. And I agreed with her that she should probably stay home. And Mr. Stickland, I think he was involved with a lot of people really close to Mr. Charlie Kirk. And he begged off, and I said, yes, I understand. So I can explain why we only have 7 here tonight. What are your thoughts on keeping the commission at the level of 10 voting members, 1 chair, and a quorum requirement of 7?
We have the right to add people since this is a commission that's appointed by the mayor.
Well, specifically, I wanted to entertain your thoughts on this subject before talking to Mayor Palmer. Because if you feel like we should add somebody, I can go to her and ask her about considering additional appointments.
I would like to suggest that you are the chairman of the commission. And the mayor is the one who made the appointment. I think this should be between you and the mayor to decide.
Okay,
But to keep discussion going, I believe that the 11, 11, 12, 13, 14, amendment 14, is better for us as a whole. So we have more input, we have more knowledge, everybody here actually making, decisions for our city,
right.
instead of just a few of us. That's, where we're trying to make this where we get the community involved, and if they're watching, then they need to start calling up saying, I want to be on your commission. So, I mean, that's the best way to do that. But to narrow down 7 quorum, yes. But I believe that we ought to stick with at least 13, 14 people. But 7 on quorum. Because we have to be there and we need
Yeah, I
input of the people.
regardless of current smaller numbers that we had. I think for us to take any action and make any decisions, we need a minimum of 7 people.
Yes, correct.
That's done for. Any other thoughts?
I make a motion, we defer this to the next meeting after you have a chance to talk to the mayor and come back and report to it.
Okay,
Well, Miss Carroll was about to say something before
well, we have a motion and a second.
Brownie interrupted her.
We're not down one member, we're down 3. Effectively.
We are down. Well, to be clear, we're down 2.5. One member said he has no chance of having time to be involved. Another one said that I'm going to continue copying him on the information. And so that if his schedule breaks free, he would be able to come back. So that's kind of a gray area there.
Yeah, that's a concern of mine that, even though the person may be keeping up, they're not involved in a lot of the discussion that we're gonna be having, so we may spend time trying to bring them up to speed, which may slow our progress.
Right.
I agree with that.
I do think that they did a really nice job when they put this group together. It is a very diverse group. And I think that's important when the time comes to go sell this to the community. I also think that life happens and there's always, somebody's gonna be sick, somebody's gonna be on vacation, somebody's gonna have a family emergency every single meeting. And I hate to see us in a position where we struggle every meeting to make quorum. So.
Okay. So there's a motion on the floor to defer this discussion to the next meeting. And if we have 10 people here, we may have a different opinion.
I want to hear what conversation with you and the mayor results.
But you don't really want it to be just between me and me.
We just want to be nosy.
Yeah.
Ms. Liddy, earlier you mentioned why it took 15 months for Liberty Hill. And I did not want to address that until now. This is why. Yes, ma'am.
I can see that.
And certain charters, because a lot of people are, they're ready, they're gung-ho, let's get it done. They go in for 1 or 2 meetings and they're like, screw that, you got time for that crap. That's what happens.
I think the advantage though, for us using models of home rule that are successful, that it's not gonna take as long maybe as it did for them, because they started from scratch. They started from scratch, so if we have an advantage there.
we're kind of off target here.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
All good
I'm
ones.
just bringing this
Yeah.
back. So, any other comment on the motion?
One second.
Question.
All in favor?
Okay.
Okay. We will revisit this next meeting. Okay. So, the author of the draft survey that we got, and I included it in these charts, but I also dropped off a larger copy so you can read it.
Thank you.
So we immediately found that there were a couple of ways to look at the survey. Do we want to have every element on the survey ranked 1 to 10? Do you like it or not like it? Or do you want to have a survey that says, what are the most important elements in the chart?
So I was thinking about this, right? And we can spend time trying to figure out, okay, what's, where does the group, where are the hot spots for the group? Okay. Regardless, these are the main components that are in a home rule charter, okay, for the most part. There may be, 1 or 2 subtleties or whatever that, may be missing. If we adopt a template, we're going to go through section by section anyways. So do we really need to do this? Or can we just jump to and say, okay, of the home rules that we all have looked at, which one might we, adopt as a baseline, and then begin to start going through it and modifying it to meet the needs, to address the mission as we go through it. I guess that's what I would recommend.
Okay, I think you might have looked ahead in the slides, then we'll get back to
Well, I know the next one is, which one do you want, but,
Ask a question, but
Pardon?
don't get my ask a question.
Sure.
When 4 people responded. We had Naomi in this group, in our commission. We see this a while back. Now filled it out. Trying to figure out why everybody don't respond to it.
I'll give you an answer. I didn't participate because I don't think it, because of what you brought up, we're gonna have to go through it anyway. We're gonna cover this in meetings anyhow, and this is just a step that I had other things to do.
Yes, sir. And I do understand that. And, but, what do you, is here, if y'all to say, hey, look, we're gonna acknowledge this like the meeting. Or it's like, you see Charlie.
If we can't afford to lose that member.
You want some mercy?
No.
All right. So that's my topic.
Thank you. Okay, what I'm hearing is that this may be premature.
Extremely.
When we get to a point where we're ready to, well, I'm gonna get ahead of myself there. A survey for which I looked at this as having 2 possibilities. Is this survey important to find out what the thoughts are of this committee, the members, or is this something that we want to prepare to distribute to the community to get feedback?
I feel like the person whose original idea the survey isn't here tonight.
And that's correct.
And you could ask that clarifying question to him if he were here.
I tried to. That's it.
And not to get off topic of what you just asked, but did he make this how he envisioned it, or did he verbally tell you and then you put it together?
Well, neither of those precisely. He sent me a list of questions and I prettied it up. Put it that,
So it's a team effort.
it was. Absolutely.
I would love to know what the community thinks.
Well,
Oh,
I
yeah,
agree.
absolutely.
This is more important, the community doing something like this, that's a lot more important than what we do, because we're gonna go through it anyway.
Right.
And I believe that we can get that out there as long as it's opinion, just opinions.
And as long as it's also scientific to where we don't have people stacking it, because I can see people trying to do that.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, well, that's manageable action. I don't think that this set of elements on this survey is the right thing to send out to the community.
No.
So.
But we have somebody who's an expert in polling. We have one of those on the committee. Put together a poll, and then we figure out how we get that out to the community.
I will revisit
Let
this
him work
subject with Mr. Stickland.
That would be wonderful, thank you.
And anybody that has any explicit inputs, let me know. But what I'm hearing is on this item, no action for tonight.
Thank you.
Correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. Down to the meat. So everybody here looked at the Lincoln Hill. Everybody here looked at the Saatchi charters.
Yes.
Yes.
And you have memorized them.
No.
I know that Charlie sent me some chat AI analysis or
Comparison.
hey, I think you started with generate me a charter for Willow Park based on these two things. And then you added a couple of criteria past that, right?
Yeah.
And I tried to figure out how to package that into a comparative chart that we could review here tonight.
I tried to
And I
have them
couldn't
do it,
figure
they
it out.
couldn't do it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had 3 more hours to look at it, I must have been. I didn't have 3 hours. So, having said that, has anybody reviewed the charter of any other city that would compete with either the Lincoln Hill or the Saatchi Liberty?
Liberty Hill type too.
Maybe,
Michael?
Gene, I looked at, one thing that we might want to take a look at, which will probably beg a lot of questions out of what you might be asking. Is the city of Ennis, the city of Melissa. When we take Ennis, correct, in the city of Melissa. The way everything is written, Liberty Hill, Saxe, Ennis, and Melissa, we are gonna be pretty good.
So can you comment, when I looked at the Saxe one, it looked like it had all of the key components except for the Board of Ethics. I mean, I just didn't see it.
Liberty Hill has the Board of Ethics.
Right, I looked at that one. So what did you notice about Ennis and Melissa? That's maybe different than the two we just spoke about.
Just by coincidence, Jonathan brought this up, and this is to acknowledge, we're trying to make everything fair. And this is to kind of answer some of these questions.
Yeah.
Along with the way some of the wording in there is more precise to what we're looking for versus Saxe and Liberty Hill. Liberty Hill was, they had a really good write-up.
That's long too. It's
Yes, sir. Well,
very detailed, yeah.
Well, you're not gonna wanna, it takes
No,
some
I
time
get
now,
you, I
because
get you.
and it's Melissa no longer.
Okay.
Yes, sir. But they are, they're pretty good.
Okay.
They're pretty good.
Remember, a lot of those introductions are also part of the legal document of the charter.
Right. Yes,
And
sir.
that's not part of the marketing of the charter.
Sure. Might we I don't know what, the result was for the Chat GPT or that, when you asked him to combine.
It was not as complete as I wanted.
Okay.
I just shared it with the chairman, so
Sure.
he could see it.
Well,
And
let
honest-
me make a comment. It was actually somewhat convoluted the way it came to me. And I didn't feel like it was useful to send it out to everybody.
No, I get it.
Which is why I didn't even.
Well, I was wondering what the quality of the result was, because if there's 4 here that we're talking about that, all merit, some review. I just didn't know if there's a tool out there that, could take the best of the best and pull it all together into a baseline.
There is, but when you have something like GPT at this moment, if you have just the basis, you get the basics. If you put more into the AI program,
Oh, yeah.
then you'll get something a little, and when I say that, I mean paying them for the subscription.
Yeah.
That is something I have yet to do. But I think if we take the PDFs of the 4 and have a good review, but then again, if you've worked with ChatGPT, especially Grok, they make a lot of mistakes. So you have to go through, we all have to read them. We've all read Liberty Hill, we've read Saxe. We pretty much know what we like from both. I think if we add Melissa and Ennis to it, and I think there may be the opportunity to get some insight on Ennis, because the brother of the former city manager of Mineral Wells was the city manager of Ennis for years, and might be able to provide some insight to how the charter worked in actual use. Because you have to remember, you have to actually be able to use this on a daily basis. Make it work into, make it workable.
Yes.
Michael, what did you see in the Ennis and Melissa charters that caught your eye, that made you think, well, that's a good idea, we gotta think about that?
As we've been talking throughout our meetings, as far as term limits, year terms, that's expressed in there, different ways of the powers of mayors, but along with a, council manager system. Neither one of them express strong or weak merit. I mean, it's mainly all your bigger cities. But going to the smaller cities and seeing the way they did that, you can tell there's revisions in there that they went in, and of course, I believe it's I read a lot of these charters. I believe it's City of Melissa. They have it to where every 10 years they have a charter review commission come in, review the charter, even though you're allowed to change it every 2 years, but review the charter to see what changes need to be made for the updated world. And that's kind of going back to some of the things on the survey. I didn't mind answering that because some of these charters I'm reading, what it states in there, goes back to the surveys and actually supersedes what we're asking on the surveys. And it's really hard to explain. I don't want to try to explain too much of it because I'll probably get confused, screw it up, and I'll be talking about something in Oklahoma or something.
Okay. Well, I was trying to steer us into picking one rather than expanding to 4. But we gotta go where we gotta go.
Okay, I saw 4 slides.
My bad. That was just for whatever thoughts y'all were gonna bring in.
I'll make a suggestion. This is based a lot off of what Michael says, but I think we've read Liberty Hill. Do we like Liberty Hill? Okay. So if we didn't have Ennis and Melissa thrown into the mix, then we would put Liberty Hill probably as the bell cow that we put out front. Why don't we take time before the next meeting? Let's go over Liberty Hill again, and then let's look at Ennis really hard. And make the two of them a bell cow. And then we can start thinking in our minds, how do we incorporate the two of those together? Using the other charters as well. And see what we come up with.
Charlie, my opinion is Melissa is better written than Ennis is. That's just my opinion though. No offense to Ennis, but that just Melissa, I thought was worded better than Ennis. But their structure was on point.
The Ennis structure was on point.
Correct. Yes, and his
Because
structure is on point.
That's part of the whole thing, is to have a good structure.
Right.
And, I mean, this gentleman here and I can come up with ways to word things, plus we'll have the attorney come up with, I think we'll be fine word wise.
And I believe if any questions come about, as far as with the charter goes, you know, what might happen if we have this or this, that, if. I believe if everybody would take time, just on your free time, go back or go and review the city of Venice, the city of Melissa, you know, correlated with Liberty Hill, Saxe, but there's gonna be wording in there. Mainly, the most part is the wording. That is what we're looking for our charter. It may not be the actual structure, it's the wording that we're looking for.
And remember, any wording that we have will be reviewed by the attorneys. And the city attorney made it very clear during the council meeting last night that what we provide the council has all the right in the world to rewrite it. So we better be darn spot on our wording to where we don't give anyone the impression they need to rewrite it.
Yes.
Absolutely. But again, as we go along and get buy-in from the community.
We have to get buy-in from the community.
Right. So. Again. Well, we'll just see how that works, but all we can do is do the best we can at coming up with a proposal. And again, including input from the citizens of Old Park. And we'll see where we go. So I got a question. And I agree with what you said, Michael. Picking the straw man that has the best structure framework, because we need a framework that is our target. And then we can go and pull in pieces from 100 other cities and hammer out the details to make that structure work for the city.
Yes, sir.
Well, part.
Yes.
Dave Lorenzo is not here. He's going to wonder which one of these potential targets does the best job of incorporating accountability. My opinion, I thought the Lincoln Hill did. Liberty
Yes.
Hill, I don't know. Anyway, anyway, that's just one consideration.
Yes.
Okay. So again, I'm trying to figure out how we pick.
Jim, to answer the question that you were basically insinuate to me, Liberty Hill would be my choice.
Does anybody feel strongly about a different one that I'd like to hear?
I like Liberty Hill a lot.
I thought Liberty Hill was very straightforward, and I think that should be an important goal.
Understandable. I mean,
And if we wanna go back and add bits and pieces from this and that, that's fine. But I think the idea of a straightforward, it just seemed it flowed well. I thought it flowed better than Saxe did. I haven't looked at Ennis or Melissa, obviously, but I think that's, if you're choosing a straw man, you should choose a strong structure. And then you can wording, that's easy. That's plug and play.
So which one has the best structure, Liberty Hill?
I believe Liberty Hill has the best structure. Saxy, Ennis, and Melissa is what we're gonna be able to use to do our tag-ons. Like I was
Our
saying,
little revisions here and
Yes.
there.
yes.
Liberty Hill has more accountability, but what they don't have is a table of contents, which drove me crazy. No, we need a table of contents.
I like table of contents.
I need one. I need one.
point of order, sir. So you have a point of order, sir.
Yes, I think table of contents got a little away from the discussion.
It's in the structure.
It is part of it. It actually formulates the structure.
So do we have, based on, at least what I'm hearing is that a lot of folks resonate with Liberty Hill. It has a good structure that builds in accountability. So, are we at a point where we can say, okay, let's, use Liberty Hill as our baseline, but then leverage these other ones and, to help us fill in any blanks or enhance, any of the sections. I mean, are we in a position where we can make that decision tonight?
Yes, we are.
Yes.
Because we can just decide that we are in that position. So I will put it this way. Does anybody have any strong objection to using the Liberty Hill as our starting point, straw man target that we can modify as we see fit by pulling piece parts from other places? Or rephrasing that a different way? Does somebody have a
Second.
strong opinion about promoting another charter?
I'll make a motion that we use the Liberty Hill Charter as our straw man.
Second.
Judge, are you good with that?
And I'm ready to start rising. I think the Liberty Hill's got a good pattern, and we can just go through it one paragraph at a time and people are happy with it. It's gonna be painful, but that's what we need to do. We need to start.
Well,
Yes, sir.
it is a painful process. I recall that.
Yeah.
Having done this before.
It won't be a picnic.
Yeah.
But I think that's what we need to do.
Right.
I think everybody agrees that's a pretty good one. I thought it was pretty good. So we can, it's fun.
Any other discussion?
All motion,
Carol got motion.
or call vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
7-0. Okay, that's a good thing. I have not read the Ennis or Melissa Carter. So I'll be fun to do this next week.
The nice thing is, Dean, I gotta just kind of stamp through them. Because everything is not exactly the same as everything else, but certain wording, certain way that I was talking about, will take you out of it.
Well, after you've read 10 or 12 of these, the next one you start reading and you know what the next words are going to be. I understand. So thank you. appreciate the fact that we have gotten to that point. Creating taking the time to take that text and actually format the paragraphs so that it automatically creates a table of contents.
Yeah.
That is just, that probably take a couple hours to go through and do that.
You can use Word, it'll auto generate.
But you gotta go through
Yeah.
and mark all paragraphs and then it will auto generate. So there's a little bit of
That's right.
D in there.
Gotcha.
So I think it would be good to have a document like that we can.
I'll work on that
Then
on the
modify.
next meeting. I'll take Liberty Hill and put Willow Park in there and then we can start editing it.
Okay,
You'll make the official rule.
I'll be Thomas Jefferson.
I can work with you on that. Does anybody want to volunteer to summarize some of the NS charter? So that it's manageable to compare to the Liberty Hill.
So I was gonna take a shot at using a tool. May not be Chat GPT, but basically compare and contrast the city charters of these four and provide a report of the commonalities and differences. So it's to see if it spikes out things for us, so that we can point.
Yeah, you just have to edit it really good.
Yeah,
Because
Yeah,
there's some.
well, I'm not gonna create anything, but it'll create a report that says, okay, here are all the things that are common.
But you still need to look at the documents
absolutely.
themselves because
Yes.
sometimes the AI doesn't interpret the way that
Yeah.
most people would interpret it.
But it may help. It may be a reference instrument. We could throw it in the trash if it.
If you do that, I'll take the Liberty Hill and turn it into a Willow Park.
Yeah.
So you're gonna create
I'm gonna
a
see
comparative
assessment,
of the four.
correct,
Okay,
and show the commonalities, what's common and what's different between the four. I don't know what we'll get, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Okay.
right, no,
I'm not gonna read all four and then try to do it manually. I'm gonna use AI to try to.
yeah, well, it's good. If you could do that, I would expect you would have something to me by what, Friday?
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Just remember, military personnel, judges, commissioners, law enforcement know when the word voluntary comes up. You just stare at each other.
That's gotta turn.
Right.
That's why I was staring at you.
I just want to see, it may help us.
Our next meeting is scheduled for the 24th. And I heard on the radio today that may be too late since the end of the world is gonna be on the 23rd. That's a whole different story.
Okay, Shane.
A little over my head, but that.
Well, there was a thing on the radio this morning. Some people in Africa have seen visions. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Gwen will not be.
Your nails done, what?
Certification training.
You said your certified nails done.
General,
Yes,
when do you think you could come up with that report? Because it would be useful to have that out to the members 3 or 4 days in advance.
I need to have it done by Friday.
This week?
Yeah.
It's not that hard to do. You
Okay.
just put in the PDFs and then ask the whatever AI service you're using, it will scan all four and then we'll put the comparisons in. You may have to guide it on what kind of comparisons you want. as far as council
Okay.
makeup and everything else, but once you put that in, it will guide it a little bit better. That may take more time than anything else, Daryl.
So if these two gentlemen can, whenever they provide the input to me, I will distribute that. And everybody will have the action to be very familiar with all of that material for the next meeting. Okay?
Make a motion, to vacate public consent.
We have other things.
Well, oh, Carol,
No, go ahead, Al.
I was gonna say, the reason I put that on there, we came to a consensus previously that we were looking at 6 council members with 3-year terms, all at large. And that was all predicated on having a robust recall process.
Correct.
That's where we are currently.
Correct.
Okay. That's all I had.
I have a question. I believe we asked Rose to ask questions among some other cities like Aledo that have recently gone through the process of creating a charter to find out the cost. I think that that's a question that we will be asked by citizens when we start educating them on the process. And I just wanted to remind that the question about cost is one that we need the appropriate people to be working. You know, what did Aledo spend? What did other people who've done this in a semi-recent timeframe, what did they spend? Because that's a question that's gonna get asked.
Right. Okay, well, I'll make a couple comments on. First, I do not know where Rose is on that investigation at all. So far, the expense of this committee, basically whatever it costs to put the video up and provide this information to the internet public. That's it.
I really think that the main elements of the cost are going to be whatever the pro rata share of I'm assuming we do this in the May election, it's going to be the cost of the pro rata share of the election. And it's going to be a little bit of city attorney time. And whatever we spend on the voter education process, and that's it. But when we were at the city council meeting, some of our city council members were throwing around some, oh, it's going to be 6 figures, it's going to be 7 figures, and I don't think that's correct. And I think we need to get some facts out there sooner rather than later.
I also have a question on school districts with referendums. It is against the law for school districts, let's say, to campaign for a bond issue.
That's true.
And I don't know if the city has the same spending restrictions on referendums like this. If it's a private, if a committee has to be established to raise funds for the campaign. And if that's the case, we need to work on that.
Okay, couple of thoughts on that. First off, let me point out, a single potentially biggest expense will be providing a copy of the proposal to every registered voter. It behooves us to put a question into the Attorney General for clarification. Does that mean if we send 1 copy to the Galley House where there are 4 voters, is that adequate? Or do we have to send 4 copies to the Galley House?
I believe that the answer is that you have to send 4 copies to the House.
Because there's 4 registered voters, right?
And I think it might be residents, not registered voters.
I looked it up. It's registered.
Is it
voters.
registered voters? Okay,
And then it's gotta be in Spanish.
Yes.
yeah,
English and Spanish.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that was the election piece that I was thinking was gonna be this.
That's probably the single biggest expense.
Not six figures.
As far as, the cost of actually running the election. If the city. If there are no council members up for, or have an opponent. Then the entire cost of the election would be on the home rule. But if there's a council member race, then that cuts it in half.
That's the Coretta piece.
And I don't recall what the last numbers I saw on the city's part of running the May election was less than 10,000.
I really do think that the cost associated with this whole endeavor is going to be less than the city council members were
Right.
averring.
Now, I believe this next part is correct also. If a city puts together a bond committee to propose a bond issue, those committee members are free to, they are proponents for what they have put out. So I think we would be able to express our positive opinions about what we're trying to accomplish. Okay.
Mhm.
I would have to look into one little detail. I might have to be silent on it because I'm an election judge.
Mhm. That's true.
So that would be another consideration.
We can handle that.
Well, we all will follow whatever we're required to follow. Anyway, does that kind
Just wanna
of
make sure that
summarize the
we keep
situation?
we keep this question fresh so that we are actively pursuing answers. Because I have a feeling it's going to be one of the first questions that we get asked
Well,
when citizens become more engaged with this.
if the cost of conducting a town hall can be substantial. So. Okay,
Then we have to do one of those.
we might have to do 2 or 3.
Right.
We gotta have input.
In fact, we may have to plan on 2 of those. And then potentially a third one after we are done and give it to the city council and have the city council run a town hall thing with our participation.
Right.
But I'm not thinking out of the box and.
So while we're in the box, something to think about, Gene, is, and this is pretty much your deal, is to, let's establish benchmarks of where we are, what we get to, and say, okay, we need to go to the public with this. And then we come back and work on, okay, what's the second benchmark we need to where we go to the public with it? Is it, do we need a second input before we do the finished document? Or do we go again, once the document is in a good rough draft? And then go back to the public and then we come back and finish it up? But that's something that I think you as chairman should think about, bring to us.
I bet you know the answer to this. How many people voted in the last election?
Just over 600.
600.
So about 10% of the population or less than 10% of the population voted in the municipal elections.
We actually have on that judge,
I'm thinking less than 10%.
I thought it was at 13%. I thought we had 764 people voting in the last election.
I don't think Will Park had that.
640.
Which election are you talking about, Judge?
43?
Yes.
I was elections last time, I know.
That's.
So we figured
Always.
10% of the population of our citizens would vote on something like this.
We might get more.
It's sad.
It depends on, okay, I can tell you that in 2001, the largest turnout in our city office in Willow Park ever was 1,004.
Wow.
That was 24 years ago. Oh, well, the guy running for mayor dumped a bunch of money and got everybody excited. He must have spent $12,000 on a city election, which was unheard of. Okay. Is there any other business?
So yesterday in city council, did I hear that they voted or they expect the city attorney to be here for all of the meetings?
They didn't.
Well,
They didn't vote?
they didn't vote
Okay.
on that, but there were a couple of members who
Okay.
made comments that they thought that there ought to be an attorney here to listen to us
Right.
form our opinions, and I didn't really see the value.
No, I was watching. I just didn't know if that was something.
No action.
Okay.
I did ask them if they would provide criteria under which we would be required to ask for legal opinion. I look forward to getting that criteria at some point. But I'm not holding my breath.
One council member expressed that he wanted somebody here, but there was no indication from the council, the mayor, or the city manager of what part of the budget pie that cost comes from.
Okay, well, I believe that we can get out of here by 9 o'clock tonight then.
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor? Okay. Thank you all. I think we made progress tonight.